Hi, I'd like to give you a quick view of Chaikin Analytics and how it might be useful for a sales trader. Chaikin Analytics is a research and analytics workstation that covers 5,000 U.S. equities. Every stock has a page, as the one we're looking at for Accenture. Chaikin Analytics is based on a powerful quantitative model called the Chaikin Power Gauge. Every stock is rated from very bullish to neutral to bearish to very bearish, with ratings changing every day. The intent is for this to be a relative performance rating, so very bullish stocks don't necessarily go up. The goal is simply to rate a stock that indicates whether or not it will outperform or underperform the market going forward. The sweet spot for the product is 1 to 6 months. It is not intended to be a day trading system, but it has great efficacy in the short term in certain situations, like earnings season or special situations. And for a sales trader, it helps give information and make you smarter about a stock you might not be at all familiar with, and give you an indication when you're working large orders or when thinking about your customer portfolios about names they might care about or they might own and where those names might be headed. In addition to the power gauge, which is broken up into 4 groups of 20 factors, there's a basic charting package and key analytics and trading signals. The model itself is very visual, as the whole package is. The little slider being in the green for bullish, red for bearish, and then if you want to drill down to see why a stock is ranked as it is, the factors in each group are indicated and their strength or weakness. The factors also are relative, so when you look at something like long-term debt-equity ratio, we're looking at, in Accenture's case, stocks that are similar in business services. We wouldn't be looking at a big manufacturing company, for example, which would have a different expected long-term debt-to-equity ratio in terms of what would be seen as good or bad. We give you a few basic fundamentals, the same thing you can get from Yahoo or Bloomberg. Again, just with that idea, if you've never looked at a name or you're not familiar with it, you can get some quick info on it. And more importantly, are the way we show our analytics visual rather than simply a number or a rating, and in effect historical, in that you can go back in time and see how money flow affected a particular stock, or relative strength did, or importantly, the actual power gauge rating. On the left side of the screen, you've got the ability to look at lists. You can put in your own list. You can take a look at any one of the industry groups that you might be looking at, and you can take a look at one of a few indices that we put up. And importantly, again, for the sales trader, is the idea that when you're looking at a list, such as a client portfolio or your own focus list, we push alerts to you that indicate, from a proprietary standpoint from Chaikin, what occurred in your names over the last couple of days. Bullish alerts, bearish alerts. These are buy signals, so these are traditional technical indicators that have been triggered either today or over the past couple of days in stocks you care about. In this case, an oversold buy being triggered on United Health. Further down, we've got some other alerts. Price trend alerts, something that crossed over or under a long-term trend, under on the bullish side, bearish side. Power gauge alerts, if a stock changed from being rated neutral to being rated bullish, for example. And earnings revisions, if a revision impacted the actual estimate, the consensus estimate, by 2 pennies or more. Essentially, for a sales trader, this is a tool, number one, to get you quick familiarity with stocks that you've been given to work that you've never looked at before. Secondly, the idea of making you more knowledgeable about stocks held in your clients' portfolios, so you can make a good call if something is triggered, for example, in a name you know someone owns a big position in or was thinking about getting into or out of, and you think it's a reasonably good call. And finally, during earnings season, for example, it is very effective in the short term as well. If you're interested in taking a look at it, we'd love to show it to you in person. We'd love you to take it for a 2-week test drive. And we have an in-house analyst who would come up to your office and work with you based on the kind of stocks you're typically looking at, the type of size you're typically working, and try to figure out how it would best fit into your workflow. Thanks very much.